The unseasonably strong storms that swept through the state left a path of destruction that has impacted the lives and homes of thousands of Kentuckians. Kentucky Farm Bureau Insurance is already working alongside many of those families to help them to begin the restoration process.
The roar of the air and the sound of the debris hitting on the van it's unbelievable. I mean, it was deafening. I mean, it was just unbelievable. And then the van at the same time is twisting and turning and trying to lift, and I just can't describe. And the force. If anybody's never lived through this, you can't understand. The force is unreal.
And I told them, no, I wasn't going to die by myself. I was getting home. And I just made it home. It picked the rear end of my truck up and scooted me around, and I just gunned it. I thought I'd blowed my truck up trying to get home, but that was the least of my worries.
And me and my mom had been down here, and my mom's 83 and she can't hardly get around, and I'd come down here and been packing some more stuff because I was in the process of moving.
Right.
And we had stayed down here most of the day, and then she got to want to go back to her trailer, and I'm like, I kind of put her off, and kind of was trying to get more done,
Right.
And she was getting really dissatisfied, so I took her and we went back to her trailer, which
Glad that you did.
best thing that Mom wanted to do.
And it just came down over top of the hospital like and touched down and took out about everything in Main Street and just went straight up Prestonsburg Street. And 100 yards from here, there's a couple. They was standing, when the storm hit, they fell to the floor, and the lady told me she fell over top of her husband's head. I drove by and I could see the floor. No walls, no anything, the floor. No furniture, everything's gone, but they was laying there. I drove by and I seen this place and I said, and those are friends of mine. And, I said, if anybody's there, they're dead. It's just awful. They laid there, and she told me, she said, I raised up to look, and actually something hit her under the eye, and it did put about 6 or 7 stitches in her eye. But that was about it. I mean, it was unreal. I've gone to the shelters and talked to everybody that I see. Listen, if we have you insured, you can't stay in your home or whatever, call this claims number, call our number, we'll put you in a motel, we're getting rental cars. I've been on the phone numerous times talking to rental places about getting rental vehicles here. But the main important thing is getting people a place to stay. I was here the night that this happened, and there was probably 75 people walking down the street, nowhere to go. What do you do?
How's this community pulled together?
Hey, this community will pull together. They have pulled together, and they will survive. They will build back. We will be strong. I mean, we've got people here that won't give up.
This is a wonderful community. Everybody's helping. We had probably 7 people within 3 hours stop and ask us if we need food, water, give us everything we needed yesterday. A lot of my customers have stopped and helped. My friends, they're here helping me, my family. The community's pulling together, trying to get it fixed and get it built back up and trying to get our community back.
And the first thing I saw when I opened my eyes was I was parked basically here, and I was pushed back so far. The first thing I saw was the corner of the commercial bank, and I thought, oh my God. And then I looked out the back windows and saw all the cars and everything flung up against City Hall and on their tops, and I realized then that God was with us. He was with us. He was protecting us.
Farm Bureau has been excellent on responding to this.
How? What have they done?
They was here the next day. They wanted to know if they could use their firehouse. They've just been trying to do anything they can do to help people. I think they've went beyond myself. It's just been excellent. And I've heard other people already have been talking about how good they've been to them.
We're here at the 519 Volunteer Fire Department, and we're trying to set up our command center. Even though our office is intact there in office, we have no power or anything. So we've been here at the 519 Volunteer Fire Department since Monday. Today's Wednesday, and we've got our computers up and running, and we're putting claims on, and we're trying to help our Farm Bureau members as best we can right now from here.
More than likely, it's going to be one of our largest events ever. So it's impacted the whole state. It includes wind and tornado, hail, lightning, water damage, and it's just affected so many communities. And our claims folks are working hard. We're working weekends, and we're bringing in people from other farm bureaus around our area: North Carolina, Mississippi, Florida, Texas. Many have sent adjusters in to help. I'm expecting up to 25,000 claims. We need to respond because that's our job, and that's our commitment to our, that's why people buy insurance, is protect their property. And you feel sorrow and remorse for the people whose lives, we've had loss of life even. So that kind of puts it in perspective when you're looking at a roof or something. Of course, people's property are important, but the loss of life is the worst thing. I just want to say I'm real sorry to those who had losses in their families, but we're there to help them rebuild, and our agents are out there, and our adjusters are out there, and we're just doing everything possible that we can to help these people rebuild and get their lives back together.
Storms ravaged the entire state. Homes in Grayson County also received damage.
When I came down the road here across from the house, I could see that, the roof was gone. It just devastated me. Actually, I was at work Wednesday and got the call. My neighbor had called my brother-in-law and told me that the roof had blown off my house. And of course, I was out in the plant, and I was just trying to think, well, did they blow a couple of shingles off, or I didn't have a lot of information, and no, they said you need to come home. I just kept thanking God everything's okay, and my family wasn't home, and we can build back, and as long as nobody's hurt. And we had some neighbors down the road that had a lot of damage, and some of those people got hurt, and they're going to be okay. But it's just a tragedy, but something, we'll get through it.
We had quite a bit of damage when the tornado hit, and Friday was more or less hail damage that damaged several different pieces of property. It was a smaller scale, but the money-wise, it was a lot larger on Wednesday, and so we've got more claims now on Friday. We have approximately right now 300 claims, including auto and property damage. It's very important for us to give service to our insurers. They were very, very tickled to death when Brad went out there and put the check in their hands to help them out. They were very emotional about it. They felt that we were doing something great for them.
So when I parked across the road, and I can't remember every little detail, but I do remember that probably the third or fourth person I saw when I walked on the property was a Farm Bureau agent down the road here, Bonita, and she told me that we had done pulled your policy and checked everything out, and you're going to be fine. I mean, it was just great to hear that. When you walk, that's probably the best news you can get outside, knowing your family's okay.
About 200 Farm Bureau members traveled to Washington, D.C. recently to talk face-to-face with lawmakers. During the annual congressional breakfast, Farm Bureau members had the opportunity to meet with their district representatives in a casual setting.
Well, the reason I came up here is to try to protect our interest as a farmer. There's nobody out there that's going to protect our interests for us. If we don't do it ourselves, nobody else is going to do it for us.
We talk about a member service for our members, not only in the courthouses at home, but and in Frankfort in our state house. But you know, the work we do here in our nation's capital is equally important, if not more important. So we're here being able to bring our members to town with us and meet with our members of Congress, and it's effective for us as an organization.
Later that afternoon, the entire group was invited to attend a question and answer session with the United States Senators Mitch McConnell and Rand Paul.
So we're going to have a nice Q&A, and our members are going to be able to get a chance to have just an open dialogue with our senators. Very, very popular thing to be doing when we have our members in town.
That's part of the Ag Bill. 35 states don't have to pass this.
Let me just make just a brief introduction.
Farm Bureau members were also in Frankfort having their voice heard. Over 100 Farm Bureau members were on hand for the legislative drive-in. Members had the opportunity to bring key issues before their state legislators.
We came up to talk to our House rep and our senator about the farm issues, the farm bills, transportation bills, what's going on with them, and how we stand on them, our opinion on them, and what we would like to see done. I recommend it for everybody. If our legislators aren't informed, they don't know.
Deep sleep now, education is the same. And that's another example of change. People.
This year marked the 25th annual Kentucky Farm Bureau Beef Expo, which is held the first weekend in March.
Farm Bureau is a general agriculture organization, and certainly we support every facet of the agriculture industry. Agriculture is the backbone of our economy in Kentucky. Certainly livestock, particularly beef, is such a major role all across our state, from one end to the other. So the Beef Expo is such a showcase for us in Kentucky to be able to showcase the genetics and the improvements that we have done to our beef herd. And it gives our cattlemen an opportunity to really trade with each other, sell, and really promote the genetics that they have developed on their farms.
Now here is our calendar of coming events. Kentucky Farm Bureau State Women's Leadership Conference is April 13th and 14th. Postmark deadline for County Farm Bureau's mini grant program application is April 20th. And don't forget, Kentucky Primary Election Day is May 22nd. Our thoughts and prayers are with the folks here in West Liberty and all those that have suffered tornado damage throughout the state. We'll see you next time.